Okay, so we ready to just go into it, or do we want to?
I was born.
We want
ready.
to talk about Squarespace or
Patreon.
Patreon. Yeah.
I mean, we should definitely talk about Patreon. I think we need the supporters.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
What tier is the trophy fee fall into?
1.
Ah, yeah. We taking it back old school with this beat. Here we go. Get ready, get ready. I remember being a kid playing ball in the yard. I thought it was great, man, gonna go real far. Told my mom I'm making the NFL, right? She said, "Aw, son, you're too little and too white." Oh man, my dreams were crushed, you see. And then I thought I might as well try fantasy. It's kinda like football if football were math, and not really fun and kinda well just sad. And that brings us to the show you are about to see. We promise lots of laughs and genuine buffoonery. So sit back, relax, turn that frown upside down, cause fool, you in the lounge.
So great.
My favorite 2 lines. It's kind of like football if football were math. It's just
And not really fun and kind of just sad. Yeah.
It's too true.
it is. It's just a little too close to home. And then the fact that you got a rhyme with buffoonery in there. I think, Chris, you might have mentioned that last time. It's amazing.
I think I actually worked my way backwards from that word.
Really?
Yeah, to make it work.
That is so excellent. Oh, man. Well, gentlemen, welcome in to the lounge. Welcome into the lounge. The Loquacious, did I say it right?
So
Yeah,
far,
that's pretty good.
That's
pretty
great.
good.
The Loquacious Life Lounge for the League of Leagues, or of the. I messed up. Of the league.
for the League of
Oh, it's
Leagues.
for the League.
For
of
the
Leagues.
League,
yeah.
For the League.
It could be for
of
anything.
Leagues. It could be
right
for
now,
anything.
it's for the League of Leagues.
That's right. We could branch this out however we wanted to. Man, it is good to be with you. This is the League of Leagues show. The show offering you the freshest takes on our leagues from the voices that matter the most, our own. It is good to be with you guys tonight. This is your Commissioner Gattaca, per usual, joined by my partners in crime, Chris, Mr. Savlaki Karis.
Guilty.
And Patrick.
Assistant to the commissioner.
To the commish. Yes, assistant
we're
to
gonna
the
go with.
commish Coker. I love that. Yeah, I just kind of threw that name in there. I
like it. I didn't even
You
change
liked
it.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's excellent. Well,
I think I'm going to put my name
in
in
parentheses.
parentheses by it, but
Parenthesis. Yeah, do it.
parenthetical name.
Yeah, is that like the air quotes? I don't know how any of that works.
No.
No.
Parentheses are these guys, Bailey. They look like butt cheeks.
But do they accomplish the same? No, they can't possibly accomplish the same thing. This is not an English podcast, all right?
It could be.
It could be. Oh, man. Well, for those of you who just randomly search the word Loquacious in your podcast app, as people do.
You're super smart.
Yeah,
Congratulations
super
on your
smart
successful
people.
life.
Exactly. If you've just stumbled onto us, here's who we are. We are a fantasy football league of leagues. You may be asking yourself the question, what in the name of all that is holy is a league of leagues?
I am.
It's a great question. Basically, it is an experiment with doing fantasy football in a different way. It works a lot similar to like English Premier League soccer or British football or however it is. Football. Yeah, that. Basically, where your 2 leagues compete and the bottom 4 teams from the top league get relegated at the end of the year and the top 4 teams from the bottom league get promoted at the end of the year. And it's basically this interleague competition thing that we have going with money and bragging rights on the line as well, but also just some general see who's the best.
For what it's worth, it feels like we have one league. There are
It
2
does
leagues.
feel
We
like
have
we have
24
one league.
teams,
Yeah.
it's just great.
Yeah,
Speaking of money, how those dues going? Did you get them all?
Only 2 people have not yet paid.
Oh, you're gonna call them out right now.
well done. One of them refuses to get Venmo, Stark. The other just has not Venmo'd me what he needs to Venmo me. Devin. So, yeah, get your dues in, but everybody else is all paid up, which is absolutely excellent. We had a lot of fun this past week. We just got done with the draft, which we're going to hit on in a little bit, talk about how that night went, get everybody's feedback. But I do want to do a little bit of housekeeping here up front, just as a reminder to everybody as we're getting into things, that our show is always better when you contribute to it. We love having crowd interaction or audience interaction in what we do. It makes it more fun. Like Chris said, it's like we're one big league. Like, genuinely, it's part of the onus behind doing the League of Leagues thing was to expand the fun. You know, we wanted to move beyond just 12 and get into 24, and we'd like to go even bigger than that with whomever wants to contribute.
2,000.
2,000, please. You know, click that subscribe button and, you know, give us your likes. But you can always email in with any of your commentary or your trash talk or your questions or whatever that may be by emailing LLL for the LL at gmail.com. Super easy to remember. Or you could just call 864-475-7576 and leave us a voicemail.
A lot of sevens.
A lot of sevens. Like a lot of L's. A 7 is an upside down L. That's exactly right.
We planned that.
Totally planned it.
Two years ago when we started this. We planned it.
Yeah, but however you're listening, whether that be on your favorite podcast app or watching us on YouTube, please click subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, leave your review, all of that. It helps us, it helps you, it helps the world, blah, 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 so forth and so on. Oh, look at this.
5 stars right here.
Those are 5 stars. 5 delightful stars.
Oh, yeah.
I see you, Jay. Handsome
Who's the guy
man
on the
over
far
there.
left?
The far left.
Oh, Dave Coulier, man. Uncle Joey.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
He's older,
cut
Uncle
it
Joey. Okay. All right.
That's great, but we do have
Now
a lot.
The three in the middle. The
This
Rock,
must be a subtle joke. Okay,
The Rock and Zac
overtly-
Efron, they go hand in hand. That's 2 people that I will watch any movie.
Have you watched Down to Earth?
What is down there?
With
No,
Chris Rock?
No, with Zac Efron.
I tried to watch The Tooth Fairy during the draft, but people want to watch basketball instead. So
I wanted to watch the Tooth Fairy.
I know you did. I know you did. We both did.
I actually was more like, hey, this seems to be like kind of in the middle. I really want to start from the beginning.
Y'all are ridiculous. All right, we got a lot of stuff to cover today. We just had the draft, so there's tons of hot takes and feedback and all of that to get into. We've got the mailbag and some news that we want to hit you guys with. So let's just get down into business.
We will. We got to hit a break
The
first.
mailbag?
We got to hit a break, and then we're gonna on the other side of the break. We're gonna
hit news.
We're gonna do the news. It's time for the news. It's time for the news. It's time for the news. News.
It's a delightful graphic.
I'm pretty much like Patrick in every way right now
You are the Patrick of
our podcast.
Except you did a
I knew you were gonna
burgundy
critique it. Just
with
so you know,
red.
Anything I would do on the screen, he's going to critique.
We got a nice brick red for our League of Leagues logo.
It's
and
the palette, all right?
and
Like,
then
it's all within the same general
It's puked
palette.
over that red. Georgia Bulldog red.
All right, Coker, run us down on the news, man.
Okay, so I'm very familiar with this news report here. I've read it many, many times.
Per usual.
Okay, first item on the news came from none other than Ryan Keck.
Keck.
He left a comment for the show, which we always appreciate. Keck says, "Great show, guys. Patrick's drops are amazing as always. Thank you. Mr. Slovakia is looking, is that svelte? Is that how you pronounce that? Svelte? SVELT, and up to his usual antics, and the commish continues to lead us well. Can't wait for the season to start. Question for the group, how great of a man is Ryan Keck?"
He is the best of us.
I was looking through, obviously, I've got a picture of Keck right here. He's the one on the right, for those of you that don't know Keck in person.
He was at the draft.
I looked through his Facebook today. Literally every picture he has in existence is perfect. He's like Barney Stinson. He can't take a bad picture.
Really?
Oh, wow.
You should check that out. So amazing.
That's a great reference, by the way.
No, I mean, when I was blown away, picture after picture, that was just perfect. Normally, I try to do like an embarrassing picture.
Yeah.
In our, staff slides for our
Always.
presentation.
Always.
There isn't an embarrassing picture of Keck.
Yeah.
Nothing I could do about it. Sorry,
feel
guys.
that.
I love how in this photo, Jay's like, I'm not wearing a thing that was made after 1978.
Pulling it off, though.
Funny story. I now own that shirt. Jay gave it to me.
Hilarious.
It's wonderful.
That's a thrift shop.
It's so.
Why'd you get rid of that thing?
He wears larges now, and I'm still in the medium.
Too many muscles.
Too many.
Okay.
He's got the muscles on the muscles.
Yeah.
I don't have a bad thing in the world to say about
Keck's
Keck, though.
amazing.
He is. The
I
best
love
of us.
Keck. He's
no
great.
one is more dedicated to the league than Ryan Keck. Therefore, there's no.
He's an OG,
one
right?
The league is more dedicated to. Than Ryan Keck.
In life, there's not
Yeah.
a single person that will be more of a blessing to you in life.
That's true. That is very true.
Let me check and see if I hit record. Hang on. Pretty sure I did.
Well, we got audio. We could just do slides, if not.
Yeah.
Oh, we're good.
Great. Moving on.
Let me check the feed.
Item number 2.
Number 2.
Second item.
It's generally
Great
what
transition.
number 2 means.
It says, second item, upper pal league mate. First name Keach. Wrote in, just like you can, LLL for the LL at gmail.com. Keach asked, do y'all ever get together during the season to watch games? I need to meet these Incredibles bracketed. I assume you added that in?
That's right.
Okay. Incredible guys.
I didn't like the insinuation that he was getting at, so I assumed.
I assume the
meant-
word he meant was incredible.
On Keach's Facebook, he had apparently he's famous. He was on TV at some Carolina Gamecock game.
He looks very. Which one is Keach?
The one in the middle. The one
He
in the
looks
middle.
very.
Oh, he looks
disappointed
good in
right
that
I
garnet,
mean,
too.
he's at a
Very
Gamecock
disappointed.
home game.
Is he a fan of
Big time. Oh, buddy.
Keach? Let's be
You
besties,
didn't know
man.
that? You didn't know that? No, he knows this stuff. All right. The reason why I put this in the news instead of mailbag is because I have announcement on October 4th, Sunday. I would actually like to do this. I don't know how.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
How do you guys typically watch games? You probably are, serving your wife and children during football. I don't know if you watch football all day.
I'm allowed to watch one game closely per weekend.
On Sundays, I turn the TV on at 1, and I let the games play until I turn the TV off at the end of the day.
My man. All right, so
Too
if you
much
can
screen
pull it off-
time,
No,
Bailey.
I
Too
don't.
much
I
screen
don't.
time.
I do need to. Well, no. I need to be clear. I don't like meticulously watch every minute.
Do you do
but
the-
it's always on in my house on Sundays.
I like Red Zone. Is that
Oh, big time. Red Zone is a
Ooh,
must.
I need to get in on Red Zone. I'm not on.
All right, I tell you what, I got you. October 4th,
October 4th.
if you can pull it off, go ahead and mark your calendar, communicate it to your family.
What's October 4th?
I want our league to get together and watch a day of games.
What is that date? Like, why is that an important date?
I'm just trying to get a league party together.
There's not like a big game.
Okay, so it's not
No.
special to
Honest-
October 4th.
Because
Because the season starts in 2 weeks, right?
I will pull the
No, the season starts Thursday.
the curtain back.
College season starts in 2 weeks.
I reached out
No,
to
the college
Keach.
season has already started.
Who's
No,
playing?
no. It hadn't started officially.
Mid majors played last weekend, and then this weekend,
Real teams.
real teams play.
So come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
Sorry,
think, I thought it was
Chris.
like September.
You have a delightful announcement that
That's
you
fine,
are
that's
trying your hardest to get out. So I would like to give the mic back to you, bro.
Thank you so much. October 4th, I reached out to Keach, responded to
Yes.
this. I said, yes,
Let's
we
do it.
absolutely do need to do this. The problem is I watch Eagles on Sundays.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't want to watch it with anybody else. However,
hello.
he said, oh, yeah. So you're coming over this Sunday. Yeah.
Yes.
If you want to come over to watch the Birds, to be supportive of the Birds,
Of course.
you are in.
I'm not going to pull
Sure.
against the Birds.
But so Keach was like, just pick a date that the Birds aren't playing at the 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock game.
That's
and October 4th, that's why it's an important date. October 4th,
Okay.
get our league together. Let's watch all day.
I think it would be fun.
We'll get Red Zone Channel. We'll get 2 extra TVs to watch whatever the
Yeah.
local games are. It'll be a great time. I'd be happy to provide pimento cheese. I make the best pimento cheese between everybody here. How about deviled eggs? I make deviled eggs.
Yeah.
Pepperoni crackers and cheese. Bring whatever side you would like. It's going to be a great time. October 4th.
That sounds awesome.
Details TBD. Bare minimum, it's going to be me and Keach watching games together.
That's right. That's
which
right.
is going to be a great time.
Now I would
I'll do a tray of cured meats and cheeses.
a charcuterie board.
A charcuterie.
You can kill one of those.
That'd be great. Now, I do want to add one little thing here, just to say this to Keach. The best way to meet the people in this league is to come to the draft.
Ooh.
It's
Good man.
Just quite simply, if you come to the draft, you meet everybody, and it's a good time, man. It's a really we have a great time with it.
Draft is amazing. Come
Yes.
to the draft for sure,
Yes.
certain. But there's a more relaxed
There is a more
atmosphere
relaxed
on a
atmosphere.
Sunday watching those
Yes.
games.
Yeah.
The draft is kind of like, I'm here for business. I don't want to talk to anybody about any players at
Right.
all.
I trust no one and believe nothing tonight.
Yeah.
And I'll say
that's
this
great.
about this past draft: if Bailey was not in front of people speaking, he was eating chicken wings.
Dude,
Like,
I was crushing chicken wings.
He never said a word to me when he wasn't chewing a wing.
I
Like,
had a
it
wing,
was
bro.
always in his mouth.
Best part was there were leftover wings that I took home with me. I've been eating them all
Went to
week.
town.
It's been great. But that's a great segue.
That's probably what happened with the Calvin Ridley pick. He had too many chicken wings in his mouth.
Oh,
Hey,
no,
too many chicken wings.
no, 100%. When he picked the Calvin Ridley
He was
pick,
like, sounded like the NBA coaches, you know, when they give the interviews.
I was at the counter getting a refill on wings when you were
Yep.
making that pick. That's
Yep,
100%
that is
what happened.
accurate.
It was
Yep.
delicious. But great segue because let's get into the weekly recap, which this week is all about the draft.
Weekly recap is what you want to know. 'Cause let's be honest, last year you couldn't follow this show. We got your feedback loud and clearly, and we took it to heart so dearly. So here's your recap. Say that. You think it's over, but it's not.
it's not.
Not over.
No. I learned that lesson last season. I knew. I would always come in like 3 beats too early because of that.
Yeah.
All right, it is time for the weekly recap. This is where we like to take a moment and just recap what has been happening in our league over the past several weeks. Last season we did this week to week, but this is no longer a week to week show, so it's going to be a little bit more all-encompassing. We're going to be looking at the
quarterly
quarters.
report.
Yeah, the quarterly report, if you will. But even today, we don't have a quarter to review. We have one thing to review, and that is none other than draft night, gentlemen. Draft night, the biggest party of the year, the what some people like to call Christmas in September.
The chicken wing jamboree of
Chicken
2020.
wing. That's it. Man, I'll say this. I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself, but I would love to hear from you, gentlemen.
The
on how you
ratio
think it
of
all
chicken
went.
wings was really out of control. I didn't
was.
think about that. It was about 40 per person.
There's a lot of wings.
I think Bailey polished about 40 that night.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Every even get a
It's
new
pretty
plate
significant. Yeah.
every time you sit down. just wings. Like, are they in your pocket?
It's
Like, I had
lean
no idea.
protein. Look, he looks
Yeah, look at
amazing.
this.
That
Don't
looks
worry
great.
about him.
It looks great.
I really was pleased with turnout. Like we have a number
Yeah, I
of
thought
people,
turnout was good.
Out
We
of
had
town.
just enough for quarantine.
Well,
I think.
Yeah.
Well, we weren't social distancing, but don't tell the cops. I don't know if that's illegal.
well,
or not.
we had at least 2 people wearing masks, so
At least
we
2.
did that.
And they were buddied together.
We
which
didn't
was
even consider that. But
delightful.
13 out of our 24 league mates were in attendance, which I think is
Yeah.
a great number.
Yeah.
Certainly, we could have it a little bit higher, but
Sure.
that was a great turnout.
I agree.
And Bailey, I got to be honest with you. You did a great job with it.
Thank you.
And we really do appreciate it. I think I told you this earlier. I've always given you crap about the trophy fee.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. You agree with that?
It's a great gag, but yeah.
You've met me halfway.
Yes.
It shouldn't exist.
Oh, no. It should
All right,
definitely
here's where I'm actually at, and it dawned on me at the draft. You did such a great job at the draft. Not only bringing chicken wings to share with everyone, chips, a case of beer. You riled everyone up with an amazing opening ceremony speech where you talked about what would Gardner Minshew do, and that's what we do tonight.
Yeah.
We have a great time. We kick back with some friends. We have a draft. It was awesome. It really is. And I am now officially recanting my stance against the trophy fee.
My man.
And here's why. We have a magnanimous commissioner, and
Hang on, let me look
if
that
he
up.
needs
Magnanimous.
very, very generous, gracious
Yes.
commissioner.
That's right.
And if he needs a little bit of
Generous
grease
or forgiving.
to turn the wheel, thanks for fact checking me. If he needs some grease to turn the wheel on our league, I love it.
Thank you.
But I would actually propose a new idea to you.
Yeah.
No longer call it a trophy fee. Call it, because you need some funds
Yeah.
to make all this work. Call it a promotion fee.
It's a good idea, honestly. Well, and that's exactly what it's turning into now because really the only people who typically get charged are the people who are getting promoted into Tier 1. So
Yeah.
it is a promotion.
And if you don't want to pay the promotion, we've all paid it.
Yeah, we've all paid it.
Everybody in the league has done it.
That's right.
And if you don't want to pay the promotion fee, don't get relegated. That's
it.
That's simple. But as far as the draft goes, you showed up, tank top, mustache. It was an amazing time. What did you think?
Oh yeah, I did have a mustache. I forgot about
Yeah,
that. No,
man.
I loved the.
Must ask you a question.
Right?
What happened? With
So
this?
I love the buddy system was so great for draft night because I needed Bailey, and he sat beside me. He ate chicken wings in my face, and he would give me advice for draft because he's got skin in the game too.
Yeah,
of how
absolutely.
well I do. So
Absolutely.
I wouldn't say
it took-
it's advice. I'd say it's more like a hostile takeover
he-
situation.
No, honestly, most times he would say, "Okay, if I were you, I would pick one of these three people,"
Yeah.
and he would let me choose.
That's right. That's
of those three.
That's what I try to do. Is like, here's the tier of player I'm looking at.
Very gracious.
You pick who you want, because I still wanted it to be your draft.
right.
But I'm with you, man. I really like that too. I thought that was an added bonus to the league that I didn't anticipate with the buddy system, because it was a lot of fun. Like, we were both. It was like, what you do matters to me now, and I want to be in. And even like, I think it was Alan who was saying, like, I'm really bummed that my buddy is not here. I want him to be here to
Yeah.
help me with this.
Yeah.
So it kind of it enables, especially I think for tier two guys who, some tier 2 guys like don't have as much fantasy experience as tier 1 guys do. Some of them, not all of them.
Right, a lot of them are good.
Oh, yeah.
Not my buddy Cole. He's
Right.
a man, dude.
No, you and Cole were doing it. But yeah, no. So it helps even that playing field a little bit and make sure everybody has fun and nobody walks away feeling like an idiot. You know?
Right,
And
right,
that-
yeah.
and I think that's huge. That enhances things. So,
I
yeah,
have talked to my
I was a
buddy
fan.
through text or phone call
Cole?
every day for the past week. And if
Really?
you don't have
About-
that type of buddy relationship, you need to get that type of buddy relationship.
Like about football?
Literally, we're talking about players that are available on the waiver wire.
Yeah.
What should we
Okay.
do in this situation? It's great.
I will say this. You are buddied up with a guy
Yeah.
who loves to talk about those details. That worked out well for you.
I was about to say an inappropriate joke. If I were to leave my wife. Which I'm not.
Oh, that's great. That is great.
One interesting note, Stark was both not at the draft because he was unavailable at a stock car race.
Yeah.
And also uncomfortably available with his multiple Zoom calls, Microsoft meetings, Skype casts. I really don't understand all he was doing, but he was very accessible, but he couldn't draft
So
either.
this is the thing
don't
that I
understand
don't
what happened.
understand. And Stark, when I see you in person next, I'm going to allow you to explain it to me. Somehow you were able to video cast yourself in, but you could not draft from your phone. I'll be the first to admit, I don't know how 5G works. I don't know about this life, but it seems
It takes more
like-
data to stream live video than it does to ping a website.
Sark, you need to explain yourself. We don't
So
understand.
I'll call him up and see if he answers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah, I can call him.
I like that. I did talk to cousin Chris today,
Oh, yeah,
and
what
he
did he
asked,
say?
"Am I live on the air?" And I was like, "No, man. We're actually
Hey, it's a worthwhile thing to check.
cousins and friends, and we love each other.
It's a
we can
worthwhile
talk
thing
to each
check,
other."
for sure.
He's not going to answer.
If
nobody
he's
ever
smart,
answers.
he won't answer. Oh, Stark.
Stark had a great draft, though. Good job, Snipes. His buddy drafted him for him. Oh wait, no, that's not his buddy. Gino is his buddy.
No, Snipes is his buddy.
Gino is his buddy.
They're in the same league. No, it's Snipe.
No.
No, he's in T1.
Gino is his buddy. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's right. Because he
I
asked
thought
me.
Gino was Alan's buddy.
Hi, you've reached Stark. Please leave a
It's
message.
somebody out of town that's
As soon as I
Stark's
can.
buddy. If it's not Gino,
At the
it's
tone,
Owen.
Please record your
We should
message.
have this
when you've
information.
finished recording, you may hang
We're gonna
up
leave him a
or
voicemail.
press 1 for more options.
It's already recorded for him.
Stark, we're on the podcast right now, and we need you to explain some things about your availability during the draft. However, you did not answer, so
We're not going to move on until he calls in.
Yeah, if you get this before you go to bed, call us back.
Gonna be a lot of dead time. Oh, that's great. Yeah, overall, I thought the draft was a success, guys. I do want to say one word to you. We really are aiming for 100% participation. Like,
Dude,
we
$5
really
of
want that.
fab
Yeah.
just coming to the draft. I needed that money. Thank you for giving it to us, Bailey.
Yeah, so that's a little thing. Those of you who were at the draft, who weren't at the draft, what you missed was if you show up to the draft, you get 5 extra fab dollars. There's always incentive to come to the draft. Also, for those of you who are at the draft or who weren't at the draft, excuse me, you missed Coker's announcement about his rule change.
Yeah, that's a big rule.
And luckily this year it didn't affect draft strategy, but it could have. And that's why you need to be at the draft. But if you missed it, Coker, just tell me your rule real quick.
Do you remember
sure
it?
now.
Yes, I do remember.
Yeah.
It. Thank you. So if in tier 2 only, just tier 2, if you score the most points in a given week, you cannot change your lineup the next week unless you have a player out, injured, besides like, oh, I'm homesick, I want to go home, or that kind of crap that happened to me last year. You can't change it.
There you go.
Stick with your lineup.
You cannot change.
I'm going to loosely.
You are going to monitor that.
Loosely.
Yeah, loosely
yes.
monitor
So we're
that,
kind of on
yeah.
the honor system. If you
That's
get
right.
caught, maybe we'll do a warning first, and then after that,
No,
we'll
it needs
do
to actually have a penalty.
well, yeah, we'll do $5 penalty.
$5
Oh,
That's
I
the
like
penalty.
that. I like that. Yeah.
And it's
And
just,
you
if
can't
somebody
wear-
calls you out on it.
You can't
it
wear-
self-polices itself, actually.
It does self-police.
$5.
Yeah.
That's what it should
And
be.
you can't wear pants for a week.
Commish.
Those are the
And you can't wear pants for a week.
It's a steep penalty.
It's a steep penalty.
I'm just kidding.
All right. Well, hey, yeah. So that was it. Draft was great. We missed those of you who couldn't be there. It was an incredibly good time.
So that's an official ruling, Deputy Commissioner. You get penalized $5
$5 sounds good to me.
if you break the rule.
If you get caught breaking the rule.
If you break the rule and then get caught.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, all
So
right.
so they actually have to start the player that shouldn't have been able to be started.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it.
All right. All right. Well, we got more draft stuff to get into with the topic of the show.
Let me just find that button.
It's the topic of the show.
You check the feed.
The topic of the show. You're gonna love this topic, just trust me. Give it a chance, would you please?
Are we good to keep going?
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to cover draft grades. I've been in
Yes.
the lab. I have not been in love with the draft recap that Yahoo has given.
It was not good.
And partially because it was not favorable for me.
Who graded the highest on theirs? Can we
Well,
at least discuss that?
we will talk about it.
Okay.
It's gonna show up in a moment.
Okay. Kind of looks like NBC there.
I thought, don't copyright it, strike us, please, YouTube. I thought for sure, this was very interesting information, but I wanted to go deeper. I wanted to look at different services which offered,
I think you could use some more fonts on.
you can give us new graphics. You know what
I
I'm
know you're
capable
doing
of.
great. You're doing great.
Okay, so I wanted to use a different service that provided, projection based on just a varying factor. So like they would look at what our most reasonable starters would be week to week, assuming certain bye weeks, and gave projections on it. And then what they did was they ranked in terms of how much your position group rated compared to the rest of the league and how they would score for the rest of the season.
Nice.
So like if you had the best wide receivers, it would be ranked 1. If you had the 10th best, it would rank number 10, obviously.
Yeah.
So if, when we go through it, you'll be able to follow along with this. Some teams had great running backs, but weak wide receivers. And I just wanted to compile all of this together. These projections were actually from the top 20, or actually, the top 50 fantasy analysts in 2019. So
Dang, all right,
the
let's
top
go.
50 in terms of what actually happened from their early season projections to what actually resulted. I looked at the top 50, and then I sorted it from the last 4 days of updated rankings. So I only wanted people's rankings who had updated in the last 4 days because I wanted recent NFL news
Yeah, that
to
makes
be
sense.
reflected in these projections. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the power rankings of each position groups based on the most reasonable lineup you would be playing week to week if there was no transactions. And so what I did then from there is I created a formula to assign you points. The more highly ranked you are in a position group, the more points you would get assigned to you. I also devalue defenses because I know those are extremely volatile. I didn't want to factor them in very much at all. So hopefully all this will make sense when we get going. I'm going to go through the teams and rankings pretty quickly because we've got to do them for both leagues. I don't think it'll take too long, and I think since we have a screen, it'll be easier to follow.
I'm very excited.
And
about
I
this.
think it'll be pretty interesting.
gonna be
So
awesome.
if you're a podcast listener, audio only listener, I actually think you should pause this and go to YouTube.
Unless you're driving, don't do that because I've done that before and it is frowned upon.
So this way, in YouTube, you'd be able to see people's teams as we're looking through them, and the
that's
rankings way easier. It'll be
great.
really hard to follow along audio only.
I am so excited about this.
Now, with that said, a few things to know is, number one, this is what's going to happen. This is completely imperfect. It is almost certainly not going to be this way. And
the games have to be played,
That's
gentlemen.
right.
They have to be played.
Breaks happen,
Yes.
and that changes everything. Tony Pollard could be the number one running back this time 3 weeks from now,
Yeah,
and that
you're
changes
exactly right.
every single team. And so,
Yep.
and you also don't win championships at the draft. So what you do for the rest of the year does matter.
It
So
matters.
don't get mad at your boy, Mr. Srivlaki, if your rankings don't bounce your way.
He doesn't know anything,
Yeah, exactly. All right.
but he does.
Now, let me reveal.
Bailey, I need you to change my name.
Starting
Let me
in
do it.
tier 1, the number
We'll
12
figure it out later.
team is Paul.
The number
now-
12 team in Tier 1 is Paul.
Which is crazy to me because,
that is shocking to me.
we think very highly of Paul. We're
Yes.
looking at his past years. So this is basically saying he's got the worst quarterback, worst defense, which is devalued. And he is middling in every single other position group. This is his team. And I'm going to keep moving on because we got a lot of teams to
I
get
got
through.
comments.
Bailey.
Well,
Number 11.
That's about
Apparently, you have the worst tight end because I just traded him to you.
oh, yeah, that's not draft. My
no.
draft was better.
Your draft was better. This
Yeah.
is your current team.
Yeah, I
that,
have the worst tight end.
that I pulled. Okay.
That's fine.
Snipes. You apparently have decent flex and a decent wide receiver. So you've got Melvin Gordon and good wide receivers, but
Yeah.
this is where it ranked you. Dean. Nephew Dean, I thought you had a better draft than this according to these projections, but weak wide receivers are going to hurt you.
So, according to projections, those are the 4 teams that will not
According
make.
to projections, those are the 4 teams.
That will not make it.
So far, buckle up
skip ahead.
because I got some good stuff coming. Flo, number 8 position, middling. Keck, heart of gold, mid-tier
Got the
type,
number 1 wide receiver crew.
type team. Yeah, Devontae Adams and Juju Smith-Schuster.
I mean, that's a big deal. Calvin Ridley.
Banksy, he is incredibly heavy at wide receiver as well, but weak in quarterback, running backs, and tight ends. Owen, the back-to-back defending champion, number 1 tight end in the
He's
league.
still gonna win.
Number 2 in receivers. Now here's the thing.
I do
running
agree.
Running backs. He gets all backup running backs and just waits for an injury to happen, and then he
Yeah.
wins a championship. That's
Yeah,
his formula.
He does. That is his formula.
What were you gonna say?
I was going to say that I do agree that his QB and wide receiver situation is very nice.
Yeah, Mr. Souvlaki, rock solid in every way. I really can't explain.
You did a great
it
job
enough.
on these slides, Chris. This is really impressive.
Number 3, my ironclad Stone Cold lock to be relegated is Garrison. He has the number 1 running back core of Ezekiel Elliott and
Yeah,
Chris Carson. I
that's
think it's
nice.
gonna
What about-
ride that all year.
It's got some really low numbers on there, though, right?
Yeah, but it's a flex position. Yeah, if you want to be low in anything, you want to be low in flex and defense because
Yeah.
you can pick up some guys. He's a pretty good team.
That's shocking that I get that penalized, though, for my tight end.
I mean, whatever, man. The best team, the best asset you have is your defense, and
That's what?
I devalued them.
What'd you
Yeah,
say?
Asset.
That's fine.
We'll edit that out later. Crawford, dude, Crawford.
has a good team.
I said Crawford out in a alternate reality, in
He's
a
got a
what if
good team.
scenario, he would have been our champion last year. I really do believe that.
Yeah.
I said that Patrick, pull up the soundbite from our last episode of last season. Crawford looking in great shape, but unfortunately, according to projections
Yeah.
in position groups, Geno had the best draft.
Of course he did.
Lamar Jackson is the number 2 quarterback. That seems crazy to me.
I would
Yeah.
think he would be 1.
Yeah, I would have thought he'd be 1 as well.
Yeah.
Number 2 in terms of
He-
running back
He got,
depth.
so San Francisco is supposed to be strong in defense this year.
Very good.
Okay.
You know your stuff.
Yeah.
All right, moving on in tier.
I just remember last year with New England's defense, how unfair that was.
Yeah.
Because you remember they scored like 30 points.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back to tier 1 in a moment. I've got more goodness to
Okay.
talk about.
I sure hope so.
Let me go through the projections.
It's not
for
good for me and
for
Paul.
tier 2. Shane.
Shane.
Your boy, number 1 in our
That's
hearts.
Crawford's buddy.
Number 12 in the standings. He knows Crawford.
No. That's his.
Oh, that's
Draft buddy, yeah.
That's his
Draft
buddy.
buddy.
Obviously, you see his weaknesses and he has no strengths. And I mean that in the nicest sort of way, Shane. Number 11, Alan. greatest man in the world, number 11 according to projections. Nothing I can do about that. Number 10, Patrick.
Bailey.
Dude, I'm 11 in our league. Like,
He improved you.
Oh
One
my
spot.
gosh.
Anyway, you guys are about
Wait, I do have a number 1. Look at that flex.
Great plays. Good job, man. All right. Moving on. Number 9, Keach. First name, Keach. Last man in the bottom 4. Okay.
Keach Jordan.
Great.
He's the most
quarterback,
famous
great
of the
tight end.
Jordans.
The most famous Jordan. Number 8, Devin, former champion. He had comments about what he was doing in his draft. Nobody really understood his strategy so much. So
Got 2 1s.
He's got 2 1s.
man.
What you got? Go ahead. This is a conversational podcast.
It's just so funny to me because. Now keep going. I don't have a good comment.
All right. Just so you guys know,
I'm gonna check the feed. Keep going.
number 7 is Austin. I have now changed his name to Raindrops in later slides because I kept thinking, who is Austin? And it was bothering me. So I started doing Raindrops just so that I could remember who it was. And it's Raindrops in future slides, just
That's
so you
funny.
know. Okay. Not going backwards.
You're going backwards. You're going way backwards.
Number 6,
Puddin'.
Puddin', the magic man himself.
Well done.
Bailey, our last podcast, you took my fake stories hook, line, and sinker.
I did. I bit so hard.
This was your college roommate
That's what was
that I was
shocking
talking about how he was studying to be a magician.
I haven't seen that man since he moved to New York. I don't know what he does up
Even
there.
worse, Alan, we work with him literally every single day, and I told you he loved Creed, and you didn't bat an eye. Okay.
Not like I could. No offense.
Wait, he
Alan.
does, doesn't he?
It was within the
Unashamed lover
realm
of Creed.
It was within the realm of possibility. Is all. I'm
I mean,
saying.
I can see it. I can see it.
All right. Number 5, Leo. Love this ranking. I think it's
I
too
love
low.
this person.
You love Leo? You met Leo at the draft?
I met him at the draft.
Oh my gosh.
And
That's
I
the
knew,
first time you met him?
the
No,
first
he
time
was
I
on the
met him.
show.
I wasn't here that week, but I knew from the moment
You
I
weren't
saw
here
him.
that
He
week?
wasn't here that week? That was
From
our
the
greatest show
ever. The moment I saw him, I knew, oh, this is Leo.
This is Leo.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
And Leo's number 5. Now, number 4, Start. The man who was there and not there at the same time is number 4. Now we're getting into promotion. Cousin Chris, looking strong right here.
Hey.
Good running backs, good wide receivers, good solid core. Good job, Cousin Chris. Garrett, I was shocked by this. You know this hurts my heart, right?
Yeah.
Garrett, number 2, and that leaves number 1, my man, Buddy Cole. Best draft, best running backs, best friend to Mr. Souvlaki. What should we think about this?
None of this matters.
So I'm trying to figure
Okay,
out.
sure, absolutely.
So it's based upon, it seems to me what this is actually based upon is it's based upon which player was actually ranked higher going into the draft.
That's right.
And if you had a player that was ranked higher, then you automatically get bumped up the power rankings.
That's right.
Now, so it factors in nothing of like, okay, this player may have actually been ranked higher, but I think the better pick for my team is X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? So this is a difficult.
That's true.
It's a difficult system.
It is certainly imperfect, which is
Yeah,
why.
which is why.
This is a very simplified position group way to approach rankings, but I wanted to see what other league analyzers would do. So, I admittedly, I kind of have waited.
Yeah, I feel like what this tells us is these people at the top of the list are the ones who got the highest rated at their position compared to other, or at certain positions compared to others.
The biggest factor to me was it doesn't explain the gap between these different position groups. So number 1 could be vastly superior than number 2 in running backs, but this is not reflected. So again, it is imperfect. So I wanted to look at other fantasy analyzers out there just to go along with this position group. So we do have the Yahoo analysis available to us that we've all probably looked at. I also went into fantasypros.com and looked at their league analyzer, and then also went into rototrade.com.
Oh, nice.
Which has league analyzer features as well. I was able to import our league, and they were able to give their own power ratings based on their algorithm.
I
So
would love to see that.
I factored all 4 strategies into our official League of Leagues preseason rankings. Something you might be interested in?
Yes, I would be 100% interested in this.
All right, so as you know, We already have these tiers.
I just pulled up.
We're gonna look at it. We're gonna look at it. You don't need to get into the report
Sorry,
cards.
sorry. We need to hit a break in a minute.
Is it worse for us? Well, we'll find out. Let's just see.
It can't
Bailey.
be worse for you.
It
Bailey.
could be a little bit
All right,
worse.
go check the feed. Let's do a break. I don't want to lose this.
Okay, you want to hit a break?
So these are the rankings that you already know for Tier 1
Yeah.
and Tier 2 that we just went through. Now, what I did was I went to another league analyzer. I think this was from fantasypros.com, and this gave us power rankings. I just entered in everybody's lineup, and this is what it showed us. So what I did was I simply made another column. If you were number 1, I gave you the number 1 Fantasy Pro option. If you were the number 10 team, I gave you the number 10 Fantasy Pro option according to this column. If you were number 6, you guys are getting this at this point. So that's how I did that
That's a
column.
dramatically different. There's a start for your ranking. You're really high in your rankings, and you're really low.
Oh, it's volatile. That's the thing that you'll notice. So this obviously is what I did for Tier 2.
Yep.
It's kind of all over the place. So
Yeah.
for all of these rankings, what Patrick said was this doesn't really matter. However, if there are trends, that might be kind of interesting to us. And I would actually like to put a pin in those and see if those come to fruition later in the year. So this is the Fantasy Pros ranking for Tier 2 as well. So we've got both columns filled in for Tier 1 and Tier 2. Move into our Yahoo Fantasy draft grades. All I did was, if you were the number 1 draft grade, I gave you the number 1 overall standings. If you had multiple shared draft grades, I gave you the same amount of score, similar to Roto, if you're familiar with Roto Fantasy. And then, the next available point system would be from, in this scenario, goes from 6 to 10.
Sure.
Okay. Did that for Tier 1. Same thing with Tier 2. So we got our 3 columns, and I'm going to compile them all in a moment.
Notice
You're fantastic.
we were dead last in the Yahoo rankings.
Yeah, Yahoo did not like.
Gave
what
us
we
a
did.
D plus.
Both of y'all?
No, him.
Okay, just...
Yahoo loved what I did.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. And then lastly, this was a team page of what we did for Roto Trade. I did that for everybody's team. And then I logged them in for Roto Rank for Tier 1. And that gives us the official power ranks according to PowerPoint. So
Wow.
after 4 different strategies in terms of league algorithm draft grades, we have Gino having a far superior...
consensus really number 1.
That's right. That's right.
Oh my gosh.
So one thing I will notice as far as this goes, nobody was chosen to be relegated in all 4 algorithm systems.
Right.
So certainly there are some front runners that we'll talk about in a moment. Geno, Snipes, Crawford, and Flo have the greatest likelihood of getting in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But as far as who will get relegated, we really don't have that.
Yeah.
Now, in League 2, in Tier 2, it's a little bit more cut and dry. I wanted to show the cutoffs, the contenders, if you will.
Yeah.
Geno, Snipes, Crawford, and Flo. You guys are our official contenders according to this strategy. Garrison, Banksy, Bailey, Chris, Owen, we're the pretenders.
I feel comfortable
We
with that.
look like we have good teams, but it's just a facade. It's a fugazi. Lastly,
Flim flam.
Thanks for the money.
Paul, Keck, Dean. We're really appreciative of y'all. Thank you for the money
We're pulling for you guys.
this
kind
year.
Of.
Okay. Tier 2, on the other hand.
Yeah, I'd like to see this.
Roto Trade rankings included,
Okay. Yeah.
resorted power ranks.
Wow.
Stark and Cousin Chris are in a category to themselves according
Wow.
to their PowerPoints. So I put them as contenders, obviously. Now we've got Garrett, Keach, Cole, and Raindrops, formerly Austin, just so you guys are aware of that. These are the Kecks.
Wow.
These are the guys who are really good.
Wow.
Really, really, really good.
Yeah.
But bridesmaids at the end of
Never
the day.
the bride.
But I was like, Keck is a Tier 1 guy. I don't want to make fun of him. So they're the Coles.
Oh.
These are the Coles. Is that fair? Coles. And Cole actually is a Cole this
Cole's a
year.
Cole.
And he's my buddy. I hope he does
yeah.
well. Anyway. And then we got the Pretenders, Leo, Puddin, and Devin. And lastly, thanks for the money, Patrick, Shane, and Alan.
I want a refund.
We're really
Sorry,
great.
Patrick.
Really grateful for you guys. All right. Thoughts?
So I would like to see one other column that just tells
Court
us,
is in session.
that tells us draft position,
Oh, you think
just to see.
people had their hands tied?
Oh.
Like I would just like to see
Yes.
if there are any correlations. You know,
Well, I will say this. Me and you killed each other
Bro.
being right next to each other.
it was the most
I
maddening
had a
part of the
worse
draft
draft
for me
because you were right before me.
I had a worse draft because you were right before me in some
So.
respects, and the same thing for Thomas. Like Thomas was getting me on the other end as well.
It was a murderer's row of
It
drafting.
was awful.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, some of this affirms to some extent where I thought I was going to be. Like I said coming in, that I felt like I had a very high likelihood of getting relegated
Sure.
this year, and I think that holds true.
I am proud of Garrett. He was holding one of his twin infants while drafting.
Bravo!
He figured it out, man.
Bravo.
Number 3. There's
Good job.
Nothing to be upset about.
I'm excited to see how Tier 2 shakes out. I do agree that I think Stark and Cousin Chris are in a league of their own right now, but that is, bro, the battle for 3rd and 4th this year to get promoted, I think could be fun. Could be a lot of fun.
It's going to be you, Cole. It's your year. All right. Any closing thoughts? I assume
Once
we've gone
again-
long, just so you know.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure we
weird,
have. It's
weird.
whatever.
Yeah.
People,
Once again, none of this matters because on any given week,
That's
a
right.
player could
We'll
just
see.
be like, "Oh, I'm not going to
well,
play."
like-
We will
well,
look back at this.
yeah,
and
we'll see.
I kind of feel confident. Cousin Chris and Stark are going to be promoted. I really feel confident.
It'll be
about it.
interesting at the end of the year to look back on this and see how it all shook out.
Totally.
You need to make sure you save this.
I
data.
got it. I got it.
That's
I got a
very, very
plan.
important. Yeah, you know, I think I like your system. It took a lot of information into account.
A lot of different imperfect systems
Yes.
that could show trends.
Yeah, no,
'Cause
that-
look at Stark. Every single analysis pointed to him being successful.
Yeah, that's
pretty
great.
impressive. Same thing with Cousin Chris.
That's great.
Yahoo does say I have an easy schedule, so that could factor.
We're going to look at that in the weekly preview. Strength of
Ooh,
schedule.
I love that. I love that. All right. Well, Chris, I would just like to say that I commend you for doing all of this
Yeah,
research.
man. I was happy to do it.
That is a lot of numbers to crunch. That's not something you just do in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That takes
yeah.
a little bit of time and energy to put in, but I think it brings
A lot
some,
of V lookups.
That's
I
right.
will say the spreadsheet did most of the work.
That's right. But it gives us a little bit of perspective, which I think we need. Like, that's really helpful, and it creates some storylines and some expectations for what can happen. I mean,
We're going to bring this graphic back up.
honestly, the biggest thing that I fear for people and that I also look forward to for people is now the expectations are set. So, Stark, Cousin Chris, if you guys fail, it's going to be really bad
We
for
just
you.
put a target on their backs, dude.
I
All they did was pick players.
I didn't put a target on their back. You put a target on their back.
I'm
Because
the
the
bad guy.
data shows that you should work this thing. But if you don't, well, it's going to tell us a thing or two.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, that is our topic for the show. Chris, well done. It was lengthy. Let's get into the weekly preview.
Each week, there is one thing we like to do. Just sit around, cause we ain't got much to lose. So gather your brother, your sister, your uncle, your auntie too. Tell them the story. Because it's time for the weekly preview.
All right, Chris, what you got?
All right, so this segment, we take a moment to preview the next month. Because
Yes.
we only have this show quarterly, so September 29th is our next show, which is 3 weeks to look at. So we've lumped them together with a little strength of schedule formula, and we're going to play a little game.
All right.
We're going to do our pick'ems a little different than we've done in the past.
Oh, fun.
Instead of picking games outright, we're going to do a little fantasy this up
Let's go.
a little bit. Each of us has 4 picks.
4 picks.
And we're going to look at the entire league of matchups for the next 3 weeks with their power rankings included
Okay.
and their strength of schedule. And we're going to pick 4 teams that we say will be in the top 4
In the top 4.
next time we meet for the next episode.
Okay.
And so if we get the pick right, you get $25 accredited to your fake account for each correct team picked. So a maximum of $100 that you can win next episode. Does this make sense so far?
Yep.
Okay, great. Now, if a team finishes in the middle of the pack, picks 5 or rankings 5 through 8,
Okay.
you get no dollars for that pick. Now, if the team is in the bottom 4, ranked 9 through 12, you lose $25 on your fake account. So you could potentially be negative $100 if you pick 4 teams and they're all in the bottom 4.
Okay.
Makes
All right,
sense? The
sweet.
game that we're playing?
So we're
All right.
picking top 4 in both leagues for the next month.
That's right.
In
But
4 weeks, who's going to be in the top 4?
But that's not all.
Okay.
We also have one additional pick that
Oh.
we're going to pick to be in the bottom 4.
One person who's in the bottom.
And it's
4.
worth $100 if you
Let's
get
go.
it right.
Let's go. Let's do it.
And then that's it.
Let's do it.
If they're in the top 4 or the middle 4, nothing. You get
Okay.
0. It's just $100 if you get it right.
Okay.
And we'll add up at the end of the year all of the dollars at the end of the season, and whoever has most dollars, fake dollars, become real dollars because the other 2 will have to pay the other host that money. Sound
This
good?
is like real money?
just kidding.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no,
I was
no,
like,
I'm
hang
just
on. I ain't got that kind of money.
All right.
I'm not rolling that deep.
Cool. All right. It should be noted that we know nothing about what we're talking about. So this is our winning percentage from last year. Flo, who's not even a host here, was by far the most effective predictor of what
Well
would
done,
happen
Flo.
in
Well
terms
done,
of
Flo.
wins and losses. Chris, Patrick, Bailey, you're just terrible. I mean, nothing.
Yep. Big difference.
Here's the
Huge
coolest
difference.
part. When we all agree on someone, we're basically 50-50 if that's right or not. So
All right.
take that for
Let's
what
do
it's
it.
worth.
Where do
All
you want to start? Where do you
All
want to start?
Tier 1. We're
Tier
going to look
one?
at Tier 1.
Okay.
Let me explain this slide. So
Oh, my gosh.
to the left,
You have put so much work in this week.
a lot
I'm
of VLOOKUPs.
so proud of you right
A lot
now.
of VLOOKUPs. To the left, you have every. Don't worry about this. I should have blocked this out.
Don't worry about that.
To the left, you have every single team and their power rating
All right.
tier.
Okay.
Then you have, for the next 3 weeks, the opponent's average power rating that they're going to be playing against.
Okay.
Here you have the actual teams that they're going to be playing against and their specific power rating, so you
Okay.
can see their strength of schedule. And all we have to do, and I'll log this. I've got it pulled up right here. All we have to do is choose 4 teams that will be in the top 4
Okay.
next time we meet.
Okay.
And fake money is on the line. Does that
Alright.
make sense what we're doing?
Yep. I know exactly
And
what I'm
I can pull up teams if we need to look at teams. You've got your computers as well if you need to look at teams.
Yep.
4 teams that are ironclad Stone Cold locks.
All right. You ready for mine? You writing these down?
I got them.
I got them for you. All right. It's going to be Owen, Paul, Chris, and Garrison. Not
All
in
right.
that order.
Let me write them down. Bailey, Owen, Paul,
Chris, and Garrison.
So, Bailey, you didn't do this, but you could go chalk if you wanted to. You could just go based on power ratings, and that's fine. But I'll say this: there's no guts, there's no glory, as my father's father
That's right.
has always said.
That's right.
Actually, he would say "Venechi antios, venechi doxa."
And I don't have to give any justification for this, right? I just get to pick my picks, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You go with your gut.
Yeah, I mean that's what my gut tells me. That's what my gut tells me. I mean, I will say I was heavily influenced by these 35s sitting over here for Owen and Paul. Also, against conventional wisdom, I know Owen won the championship last year because he picked backup running backs and relied on an injury, but I'm just not buying that in the first 4 weeks. Maybe he'll win the championship later, but in the first 4 weeks, I think he's going to be in the bottom 4.
That's a good point. Same way I feel about you. I could see you not be
No.
in the top 4, but I think you'll work your way back.
All right, Patrick, your ironclad Stone Cold locks.
Snipes, Flo, you.
Yeah. Get your buddy in there.
No, not the first 4 weeks. And Owen.
Owen. That's close enough. All right. I went chalk, Gino Crawford Snipes Flo, because money is on the line, and I really want to make you guys pay me. Now,
Oh crap! I just realized I did this wrong. I picked the bottom 4 instead of the top 4.
I don't understand
Oh
how
my
you messed
gosh.
this up.
I completely messed it up.
No, you didn't. Crawford's up there.
No.
And
You
Snipes
know
is
what? I'll stay with it. I'll just I'll
Paul.
flip my picks. Instead of thinking who I'm going to pick for the bottom four, I'm going to pick for the top four, the same people. Owen, Chris, Paul.
Oh, you only picked
Garrison.
one. Bottom four is just one pick.
No, I know. I messed it up. I was picking my bottom four, thinking who was going to do the worst. But I'm going to
You put me in there?
I know. That's why I was surprised you weren't more offended.
All right,
And then
Bailey.
that's on me.
Bailey,
That's
you want
on
to change your rankings? Go ahead.
yeah.
Put the real ones.
Yeah, I'll pick the real ones. The real ones I'm going to put as Flo, Banksy, Snipes, and Gino.
All right. Flo was picked by all three. Snipes was picked by all three. And that was it.
Yep,
So those are the sweeps that it's a 50-50 chance of it being
that's
right.
fine. Now,
Now-
Owen is going to be my pick for the bottom four.
Owen,
Yep, I'm going ahead and taking him there.
boom.
That's it.
You just made him mad, dude.
That's fine.
He's an out-of-towner. Come on.
Look at me, Owen. I don't care. You're going down, bro.
What you got?
Paul.
I'm going Paul as well.
Wow.
I don't know what the deal is. Paul is super good at fantasy football.
I know. It's
So
shocking.
good that I'm going to change my pick to Bailey.
that's probably a safe pick this year, bro.
Because I just wanted to get back at you.
That's
Because you
fine.
said me, I say you.
That's fine.
All right. Moving on to tier 2.
Tier 2.
Obviously, on the left, you have our power ratings in order of, greatest. Stark is number 1, Cousin Chris number 2. And then to the right, over here, we should have a laser pointer. Do you have a laser
Yeah.
pointer?
No.
Okay. Maybe a Patreon tier can provide us a laser pointer. Opponents' average power rating, so you can see their strength of schedule for the next 3 weeks and come up with who
Yeah.
we believe will
Okay.
be in the top 4
Okay.
at the end of this.
Oh man, it's so much. Like it's hard to not let this influence everything.
It should.
It should.
It should. It's empirical
But it's
data.
also an overwhelming amount of information right here.
Sorry
But
about that, everybody.
I think my picks for the top 4, I'm probably just going to go ahead and keep it. No, it's not going to be quite chalk. I'm going to go Stark and Cousin Chris. Then I'm going to give Cole his due. And
Go Devin. You want Devin?
I think I'm going to go Raindrops. I
Leo.
think Raindrops is going to wind up doing it. Austin, I think, is going to creep into that top 4.
That's great. Congratulations, y'all. That's not
Yeah.
going to happen. 50-50 chance that happens.
chance it happens, yeah.
Stark, Cousin Chris, me, and Leo.
Bravo. Bold
Yeah.
picks. Bold picks.
Okay, let me tell you something. Patrick, Stark, Chris, Keach.
Hey, all right. Getting exciting down here in tier 2.
I just know the makeup of these people,
Yeah.
and I know Bailey's not going to let Patrick be in the bottom 4.
He better not.
I'll
So
do
that's
what
why
I
I'm doing
can.
that. Who's going to get bottom 4?
I know mine.
Go ahead.
Alan. Sorry, buddy.
Dang, like
Okay.
that. I'm going to go Shane.
I'm going Shane too.
Yep.
Sorry.
Shows Shane some love now. He's
Dude.
new to the league.
I
So is
love
Alan.
Shane.
Well, yeah, but I've known Alan for, what, how many years now?
Now, I will say, I personally really like
13
Shane.
years?
I think Shane is winning at life, so he doesn't need to win at fantasy football.
That's
He
fair.
he just built a squat rack
He did?
in his
I did hear
garage.
about that.
I don't even know what a squat rack really looks like. You're trying to explain it to me before the show.
Also, you were talking to me before the show about how you had all these lies in everybody's
That's
little
right.
bios last
Big
year.
time.
Shane really does bake.
I didn't have that as a fact.
Yes, you did.
But I had that as a fact. I didn't have that as a fact.
Who did?
I had Shane.
How did I know this? I
Shane-
knew this
I-
information.
Probably I
explained it.
told you.
Just
I
listen
think I
to
said
the
it on
podcast, okay? Subscribe, like us,
Yes.
rate us 5 stars.
Can you consume your own content, please? It would help us all out.
Oh, I mean, you're not supposed to smoke what you sell.
All right. So
Also true.
We all said Stark and we all said Cousin Chris, the two contenders, and then we were all over the place. You said Raindrops.
Yeah.
By the way, just so you guys know, the reason why I think Raindrops is the scene from Along Came Polly where what's the actor's name?
Ben Stiller?
No. The other guy.
When he's
playing
Jesus
basketball.
Christ Superstar?
He was playing basketball and just like saying swish, and it was like clank, raindrop, clank. And there was an event where Austin was playing basketball at the court at the office, or the basketball goal at the office. And he was so confident, just dribbling, spin move, fade away, jumper, clank. It just over and over again. And we were just standing there watching him, and I just kept thinking, raindrops. This is what I associate with it. So for everyone to know, Austin's the greatest man in the world. Think raindrops when you think of Austin.
Yeah, I'm never going to not be able to call him that. All right, well, we'll see how good we do in 4 weeks. I'm looking forward to it. I believe that my percentage hopefully is going to improve in this quarterly preview, weekly preview, whatever it may be.
Good.
But all that being said, we still got a couple of things to cover, gentlemen.
Yeah.
We got to take out some trash.
Get out of my face, cause this is the deal. I know this is fantasy, but shit getting real. That's right, you an owner and you're about to get served. Down into my trash, and I'm gonna roll you to the curb, cause I'm taking out the trash. That's right, he says he's taking out the trash. Your boy taking out the trash. You're next.
You didn't do the gunshot. You always do the gunshot.
Bailey did it this time.
Oh, did you? I wasn't looking.
He does
at
a
you.
better one.
All right, I can copy and paste so you can read it, or do you want me to read it?
It's up to you.
Okay. This came in our email, LLL for the LL at gmail.com. You can be part of the show as well. Cousin Chris emailed
Chris.
in. He said, this is him, apparently on the mean streets of Philadelphia, reporting live.
Oh,
He used
from
to
the
work-
link.
He used to work for the Eagles.
I know.
That's
I know.
Now he works for
He's been to the link many times.
MLB headquarters.
That's
Last year, I was Rocky 1, losing to Apollo Creed, but earning respect that got me to the number 1 pick this year. So he won the consolation bracket. Is that how it works?
He finished 5th out of an 8-team league.
And that gave him the number 1 pick. This season, I have a new baby. I can fact check that. It's accurate. I have a new baby, just like Rocky 2, and it is time for me to get the title.
Let's go. Come on.
Next year, maybe I get a statue outside the Philadelphia Museum of Art.
Oh.
Then move to L.A. to get the Eye of the Tiger back.
Come on, Cousin Chris.
Plot points. Important
Come
plot
on,
points
Cousin Chris.
for Rocky 3.
Oh, I'm going to binge watch Rocky now.
Sincerely, Cousin
I have the box set.
It's exactly what I would expect
Cousin
from somebody from Philadelphia.
Chris. I appreciate that, taking out the trash.
That is a nice taking
He's
out
coming
the
up
trash.
paired with, he's one of the 2 contenders in Tier
Yeah.
2. He's coming for
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see it,
He's
Chris.
focused.
Let's go, bro.
He's focused. He's going to
Let's
do well.
go.
I did tell
Gonna
him,
do
I
well.
said, I need you to do well because you're embarrassing him in front of my friends. So
I bragged about you, and you're really letting me down here, bro. That's great.
love you, Chris.
All right, well, gentlemen, there's one thing left to do, one thing that we always like to do before we get out of here, and that is share the coolest thing that we saw this week.
The coolest thing I've seen all week. The coolest thing I've seen all week. Yeah!
I should have been a musician.
You really should have. It's true. Or a voice actor. We were talking about that
Yeah,
earlier.
could've done
Yeah.
that too.
So the coolest thing we saw this week is a little segment we like to do that takes a break from all the fantasy football stuff and just shares something cool that we saw that we want to share with the world. So, gentlemen, I'm going to defer to you.
Okay.
What's the coolest thing you saw this week?
I've got 2. Are you going to want to steal mine?
No, you do it. We could do it. We could do a coolest
you
thing.
have a coolest thing?
Okay.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
Cobra Kai on Netflix. I've already talked to you about this.
You have.
a little bit, but like you haven't seen it. But I do want to ask you. I want to try to feel if this would be a good fit for you. Do you love the Karate Kid movies?
I enjoy the Karate Kid movies.
You don't love them?
I don't love them.
Okay.
When you hear the score and you see
The Bill Conti score.
Daniel San on the boat doing his moves, do you get chills?
If you were to ask me what the score to Karate Kid sounds like, I would not be able
All right.
to tell you.
Forget all that. Do you enjoy like the overconfident, narcissistic, but really awesome kind of character?
Always.
Okay. What are your thoughts to the plot from Creed 2, where
Bro, if we're talking about Creed 2, we're talking about a masterpiece.
Where Creed's son is fighting Ivan Drago's son.
Yeah,
and
dude.
It's like, I saw the trailer. I was like, how did they come up with this stuff? You thought it was good?
Oh, absolutely. That I saw that trailer and was like, this is a must-see.
Okay. Are you okay with being out of control and involuntarily watching episode after episode, staying up way too late?
That is what I do on a regular basis.
This is
It's
gonna
your
be a
show.
good show. You're gonna like Cobra Kai. I'm not gonna lie. There's so many amazing things about this show. Bill Conti score. Like there's something about my hair molecules that just stand up straight, erected whenever I hear that whistle chime in whenever we see anybody doing any katas. Okay. Just the sky cams over the landscape. I don't know what it is, but I just need more of it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna love Cobra Kai. Now, I'm not gonna lie. It's not particularly great writing or great acting.
It's fine.
However, it is exactly what it needs to be, and I don't want to oversell it, but it's perfect in every way. Anything to add?
Streamable now on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
on
Season
Netflix.
1 and Season 2. Season 3 is coming out soon on YouTube. Is it Red? Is that what they call it still? Or no?
I don't know what you're talking
TV.
about. Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So Season 1 and 2 are out on Netflix, and
Okay.
3 is about to be released.
All right.
But I agree. It's one of the few shows that Tiffany, my wife, and I watch together because
Wow.
we don't have the same taste in television, so it's
Yeah.
very unusual for us to find something like this.
I watched it alone because something inside me began to began to stir when I watched it. I'm not gonna lie.
That's great.
The second thing I was gonna say was happened at the basketball court today. Can I tell you about it?
Yeah, of course.
So it was my homie Flo. He
can ball.
There was one play today that was something spectacular. So we have a buddy of mine, Ant, who is incredibly athletic, incredible basketball IQ, knows what to do on the basketball court, was about to shoot a game-winning layup. It was, nobody was guarding him. He was about to just put the ball in the bucket. Flo, I've never seen him jump this high. Jumped so high, Ant didn't see him. He not only blocked it, but it was the type of thing that like Kawhi Leonard palmed the ball, threw it back down on Ant.
What?
Ant was on the ground flat.
What?
Because of this contestation, and the ball went out of bounds off of Ant.
Wow.
And they wound up winning the game. I've never seen a defensive play from Flo like this. And I just wanted to give him some
Wow.
props because it was amazing.
him.
The only thing that I
Good
did
for
today
him.
was jam my finger. Flo had that amazing play. That was the coolest thing I saw
That's
today.
incredible.
But are you going to do the podcast?
What do you mean? I think I am doing the podcast.
No, the
Currently,
the
like,
other podcast.
in this moment.
The other podcast.
What other
Just
podcast?
talk about what you want to talk
Okay,
about.
I was going to do the Scrubs podcast.
Oh, I do love that.
So we'll just do it together. Okay.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there is.
Wait a
So,
minute, so you weren't just doing a coolest thing right now?
I mean, that would be
Patrick
mine.
is out of control right now.
You know what,
It's-
Patrick? Tell us about this fun podcast.
Okay, so it's
Fake
called
Doctors, Real Friends.
Yeah, Real Friends, Fake Doctors.
Whatever.
It's from Zach Braff and Donald Faison from Scrubs.
Delightful.
And they literally just go through every episode of Scrubs. They have guests on, and it is one of the most, because I loved Scrubs.
Yes.
So if you love Scrubs, I do recommend
Yes.
you listen to this podcast.
I agree.
Do a rewatch of the show. Bailey, you're currently doing one. I'm doing one.
Yeah.
And
when you put me onto this podcast, which this was going to be my coolest thing as well.
Well,
this
go ahead.
week.
Just
no,
take it
no,
from
that's
here.
fine. Yeah, we'll just kind of
Yeah.
tag team a little bit. It was everything that I wanted that I didn't know that I needed.
100%.
You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
was, unbelievable. I, like you, am a big Scrubs fan. This is probably shameful to admit. I've probably watched too much television with my life. I have probably watched Scrubs in its entirety, all the seasons through, in double digit number of times, like somewhere in the 10 to 15
on that
range.
for you.
You know.
Okay, thank
And I always want more. And so to finally get that, and to get to hear all the behind the scenes stuff, to get to hear about their casting experience, like all their
Yeah,
auditions and
auditions,
stuff like that.
right.
It was just like, oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. And Zach Braff and Donald Faison
Yeah.
are exactly who they have always been.
Yes.
They are
Yeah.
bros, and it is so fun to get to hear them go back and forth and just talk about all the little quirks
Right.
of their relationship and the show. Delightful.
I love that Donald Faison wouldn't read the scripts before he got to set.
Right. Just
Like
show
they have
up.
to do like multiple takes, so you just learn the lines every time. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's
great.
it's been really fun to listen to
Yeah,
that.
and for like each episode, they have a different guest on, you know, in some of the early episodes. So I only made it 4 episodes into the podcast before I had to start the rewatch of the show. Like I had to
Yeah.
go through it again,
Yeah.
just because I realized how much I actually love this show and just want more of it. But they have guests on. They had Bill Lawrence on to talk about, you know, all that was going on with his creation and ideas behind the things. They had Sarah Chalk on, and so it was very fun to hear her talk and
Yep.
realize, oh, you actually kind of are like Elliot in real life. You know,
Yeah,
like very,
yeah.
very,
Very
real,
Canadian.
real
yeah,
unlikable.
Very Canadian.
Likeable, very Canadian. You didn't make up that laugh. That's your real laugh. But
Right,
fun to hear
right.
her experience, too, of journeying from Roseanne to
Yeah,
second Becky.
Becky,
to-
yeah,
no,
totally.
second Becky to Scrubs. Like, it's just very fun. I've
Yep.
enjoyed it.
And later on, you're gonna get
Oh, spoilers.
Brendan Fraser,
So great.
Scott Foley.
Michael J. Fox?
No.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Yeah. Well, gentlemen, that does it for us. We had a bunch of coolest things of the week, which I find to be good for
buddy
this
system.
long show and the buddy system.
What's our
Absolutely.
time code? We don't have it because we keep cutting.
We got
It's long.
commercial breaks.
It's
we got
long,
super
some
long.
commercial breaks. We're going to insert some stuff in here. Anyway, the season is upon us. Now all the drafting is done, and here's where you really win the league. And that is my fantasy football pro tip for everyone, is that the league is not won at the draft. Do not be deterred by anything you saw on the screen or in the power rankings, because all of that goes out the window
it was
once
a lot of hard work. I mean,
it all goes out the window once the ball is snapped. You don't win at the draft. You win during the season. So stay dedicated, guys. Set your lineups, make your trades, be involved. It's going to be a good year. We'll see you soon.
Ah, yeah, we taking it back old school with this beat. Here we go. Get ready, get ready. I remember being a kid playing ball in the yard. I thought it was great, man, gonna go real far. Told my moms I'm making the NFL, right? She said, "Aw, son, you're too little and too white." Oh man, my dreams were crushed, you see. And then I thought I might as well try fantasy. It's kinda like football if football were math, and not really fun and kind of, well, just sad. And that brings us to the show you are about to see. We promise lots of laughs and genuine buffoonery. So sit back, relax, turn that frown upside down, 'cause fool, you in the lounge.